What's up, boxing fans? This is TBE Boxing back at you again. Today's topic: Heather the Heat Hardy versus Jessica the Cobra Camara, the post-fight analysis. Also, upcoming Undisputed between Franchon Crews-Dezurn versus Ellen Cederroos for Undisputed. Let's chop it up and see what it's all about.
Got the money for minutes, pretty bitch, gotta show me titties. This is the life that I chose, huh? On the block with the pole, huh? This is the life that I chose, huh? On the block with the pole, huh? That life for riches, huh? That life for riches, huh? Pretty bitch, show me titties, huh? And I got the glazzy run up on me, I'ma make you get it. I'ma make you get it.
Okay, boxing fan, let's talk some boxing. All right, so we had a barn burner last night between the Heat Hardy and the Cobra Camara. Great fight. The Heat Hardy was defeated by Camara. Jessica the Heat Hardy, who we recently saw her against Amanda the Real Deal Serrano, in which she lost a fight between her and Serrano. Was a great fight as well. Tough fight, but Amanda Serrano came out victorious in that fight. So in this fight, we saw the Heat Hardy attempting to move up to lightweight from featherweight to fight Camara. Now, the fight between Amanda Serrano and Jessica the Heat Hardy was at featherweight. That was for the featherweight title. Okay, for the unified featherweight title that Amanda Serrano has. So, in this fight, Jessica the Heat Hardy was moving up to lightweight, which is actually she moved up 2 weight classes to take on the Cobra Camara. Now, it was a pretty good fight, but the Cobra clearly outboxed Hardy. Hardy had some good, a few good rounds where she made, she connected. But however, for the most part, the Cobra Camara was doing her thing in there. She was using the jab effectively. She was landing a lot of right hands on the Heat, and she was a stronger fighter in there. Better technique as well. For a lot of the fight, Jessica Hardy kept, dropping her hands and standing in front of Camara, and she did her best, but Camara was just too strong for her, too skilled, and in the end, she was able to defeat Jessica Hardy by a comfortable margin, unanimous decision on all cards, and so the fight wasn't really that close at all. Okay, at the end of the day, Jessica Camara was the clear winner, and like I said, she proved to be a little bit too strong, a little bit too skilled for the Heat Hardy. Although Jessica tried to bring the heat, Heather tried to bring the heat in this fight. She didn't really get off like she'd have liked to, and she took a lot of punishment in this fight. Okay, let's just say that much. She took a lot of shots from Camaro. Camaro was landing the right hand all night. She was landing the jab. Heather Hardy kept trying to put the pressure on her, but Camaro was able to, withstand the pressure and give as good as she got. And in the end, she basically outpointed the Heat Hardy in after they went the distance. So, like I said, it was a unanimous decision. Okay, it wasn't like it was a close fight. The Cobra Camara was a clear winner. Although Jessica Hardy put up a game fight, she came up short in this one. So I don't know what she's gonna do from here. If she's gonna go back to featherweight, move, stay at lightweight. We don't know. She did pretty good at lightweight. Considering that she was fighting an opponent like the Cobra Camara, who had a record of 7-2 compared to Hardy's 22-1. So But again, Camara was lightweight. The Heat was moving up 2 weight classes. I mean, it was a pretty good performance for coming up 2 weight classes to fight someone. She put on a pretty good performance, but she just came up short. And so, the Cobra was able to defeat her in due time in the fight. I mean, Hardy tried. Okay, I mean, she really did make an attempt to win the fight. You can see that she was trying her best, but her best just wasn't good enough. Like I said, Hardy, kept trying to put the pressure on Camara, but Camara was able to withstand the pressure and give it back as good as she got. And in the end, those right hands and the jab was working well for her, and nobody really got hurt to the point, where you thought somebody was going to go down in the fight. But it was a unanimous decision, a clear win for the Cobra, and it is what it is. So we have to see what Heather Hardy is going to do from here on, if she's going to stay at lightweight, or if she's going to move back down to featherweight, or what she's going to do as far as the career is concerned. But she came up short in this one, so we got to look forward to see what she's going to do next. And the same goes for Jessica. Great win for her. Don't know who she's going to fight next, but whoever she fights next, it should be a great fight because she's pretty good. I like what I saw with her. She was pretty skilled. Okay, stayed calm in the whole fight. Followed the instructions from her corner. And she did, I would have to say, if I was to rate her in this fight, I have to give her a A. She did very well. So, great fight. Best person won last night, which was the Cobra Camara. And so we're going to have to see what Hardy's going to do next. And also, I would love to see, what's going to be next for the Cobra Camara. She seems to be a pretty good fighter. I'm looking forward to see what she's going to do next. So, at the end of the day, we had seen Hardy in a tough fight against Amanda Serrano recently. And to me, in that fight, even though she was, again, outclassed by the boxing skills of Serrano, I think she put up a better, a stronger fight in that fight because I think the weight, she was more comfortable. I don't know if she had problems making that weight, but she seemed to be stronger at featherweight than she was tonight. Last night at lightweight to me. Okay. And so maybe she's going to go back down to featherweight. We don't know. But in that fight, I thought she performed, a lot better. She seemed to have more stamina. And was stronger at featherweight. So at lightweight, she didn't seem to be able to. Although she did take the punches pretty well at lightweight. I mean, she didn't get hurt or stopped or anything like that. But she just seemed more active at featherweight when she was fighting Serrano, okay, than she was at lightweight against the Cobra Camara. Okay, so maybe she might want to think about going back down to a lighter weight. Okay, I don't know, but we'll have to wait and see, how that all plays out. But yeah, it was a pretty good fight, 8-round fight. The Cobra Camara showed her stuff. Great fighter. She was able to defeat the Heat Hardy, and we'll have to see what both women are gonna do next. All right, so coming up soon. As a matter of fact, this fight was added to the Cambostas versus Teofimo Lopez card for June 19th. It's going to be Franchon Crews-Dezurn versus Ellen Cederroos for Undisputed at 168 pounds. Now, that should be a pretty good fight, I would think. As we all know, of some of you that don't know, Ellen Cederroos is from Sweden. Okay, she's coming off a win against Alicia, the Empress Napoleon Esposito, okay, for the WBA title belt, which she picked up. She won that fight. Cederroos already had the IBF title, which she had picked up from Femke in 2019, and where she won that fight. So she has the IBF and the WBA belt currently. And, Cederroos, Dezurn, Crews-Dezurn, Franchon Crews, she has the WBC and the WBO belt, which she won from Jimenez. Okay, now in that fight between Jimenez and Dezurn, that was a barn burner, by the way. That was a tough fight between these two women. Jimenez put up a strong fight against Cruz and was able to defeat her in a split decision win. Okay, it was a close fight. It was a war, actually. And Jimenez picked up the decision. However, it was found out after that fight that Jimenez was taking, some type of PED, and she was suspended and, stripped of her titles, which were then awarded to Crews-Dezurn, to Franchon Crews-Dezurn in that fight. So now Franchon Crews, was actually winning of that fight based on what happened with the PED situation with Jimenez. So, it is what it is. But so now, Franchon Crews, WBC, WBO champion, is going to fight Cederroos, the WBA IBF champion, for Undisputed at 168 pounds. Now that should be a great fight, I would think. Okay, because as I said, Cruz is a warrior, and we saw her, battle it out with Jimenez, who's a big woman, who used to be a heavyweight, I believe, at one point. So that was a tough war for Franchon Cruz, and she was a split decision, so it was a close fight. Okay, now Cederroos, Ellen Cederroos, she also had a pretty good fight and a pretty good performance against Alicia, the Empress Esposito. That was a great fight as well. Now, let's do a little comparison, because Cederroos is a big woman as well. She's tall, long, extremely long reach. Okay, and she used her reach effectively against Alicia, the Empress Esposito, in their fight, in which she used the jab, and she was able to get great leverage on her punches, because she fought tall. She's a taller woman. She was taller than Alicia, the Empress, and she basically used her height and her reach to pull that fight out. But the interesting thing about that fight was the corner. Actually, in that fight, we saw that. The fight wasn't that, it wasn't a blowout or anything like that. It was a pretty close fight, to say, to put it, if you want to put it that way. I mean, it wasn't like she went in there and blew out Alicia. Alicia was fighting a pretty good fight, pretty good moves, a lot of good defensive moves. But it was just that she couldn't overcome the height and reach advantage that Cederroos presented. Cederroos was getting good instructions from a corner on what to do. And for me, from what I saw from Alicia's corner, she wasn't getting very good advice from a corner, because the only thing her corner kept telling her the whole fight, and you could, if you watch the fight, I would recommend people go and watch that fight. Pretty interesting. The only advice that Alicia got from her corner the whole fight was step to the right, step to the right. They just kept telling her that, step to the right. And when she was in the corner sitting down between between the round, they kept telling her, step to the right. I keep telling you, step to the right, step to the right. And that was it. No other instruction but step to the right. And at one point, it got, the guy that was in the corner, I don't know what his name was, but he was terrible, terrible, man. I mean, he went, I keep telling you to step to the right. You're not stepping to the right. Why you don't know what step to the right means? I mean, he was very dismissive of his fighter. Very, I didn't like the way he talked to his fighter at all. It wasn't very respectful. And at one point in the fight, he said, "Oh, don't give her no water. Don't put no water on her," because he was upset because he felt that she wasn't following his instructions to step to the right. Okay, and so I mean, who does that? I mean, that didn't make it. I mean, that was terrible. So basically, he was like, "Don't put any water on her. Don't give her no water." I mean, I'm like, what? And then the interesting contrast to that whole situation was the way Cederroos' corner treated her. They gave her, concise, specific instructions about what to do, what she had to do in the ring, which was great. And not only that, every time the bell rang, her corner man would jump into the ring, meet her almost in the middle of the ring, and help her to her stool. To help, to give her more, help her, with her breathing, help her, not be so tired. I mean, every single round, the guy would jump into the ring and go and meet her before she even got to the corner and help her. He put his arm around her, almost lifting her up and sitting her down on a stool. So it was a great, the corner was great. It was a great contrast to look at the difference in the two corners. And I think that difference in the corner made the difference in the fight, I would think, okay? Because I think that if Alicia, the Empress, was getting the right instructions from a corner, she probably could have pulled that fight out, okay? But she wasn't getting the right instructions from a corner, and the corner wasn't really treating her very well, okay? So I think that had a big effect on how the outcome of that fight, and I would bet money that if she had a better corner, she probably could have pulled that fight out, but she wasn't getting the right instructions, and the corner treated her terribly, as opposed to in Cederroos' corners, she was getting all the advantages. She didn't even have to walk to a corner, like I said, because a corner man would jump into the ring and help her walk to the corner and help her to sit on the bench. Okay, so it was a great, it was a study in contrast, really, to see how that played out. Okay, and then obviously Cederroos ended up winning the fight, but it was a pretty good fight. Alicia the Empress put up a great performance. However, she just came up short, like I said. But I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that she wasn't getting the right instructions from a corner, because all they did was tell her to step to the right, and that's not enough. You need to tell her. You need to tell your fighter what she's doing wrong, what the other fighter is doing, so that she can, make the adjustment that's necessary. And, telling her to step to the right constantly was not the way to do it, because some of the time, she kept telling her to step to the right. They kept telling her to step to the right. I mean, Cederroos was hearing those instructions as well. So she was able to make the adjustment, because they kept yelling even during the fight, step to the right, step to the right. So, I mean, if that's the only instruction you have to tell your fighter, step to the right, I mean, it wasn't a good look for Alicia Empress's corner. I think she should get rid of her corner, man, and get somebody else that respects her, because I didn't like the way he was talking to her at all. Very disrespectful, and I think he actually cost her that fight in the end, okay? I think she would have done a lot better if she had a better corner man, giving her more, precise instruction and exactly what to do, instead of yelling and getting upset when the fight didn't work out the way it was supposed to work out. And it wasn't working out for her because she wasn't getting the right instructions at the end of the day. So I would love to see a rematch between those two. But at the end of the day, this is going to be a fight for Undisputed. And maybe Alicia can get a shot at the winner of the Undisputed eventually. So we'll have to see how it all plays out. But how is this fight going to, go with Cederroos and Franchon and Crews? It's going to be a war, I would think, because at the end of the day, Franchon and Crews, Jimenez is just almost as big, as tall as Cederroos, and probably stronger than Cederroos, okay? And so Franchon and Crews was able to, go toe-to-toe with Jimenez, and I think she's going to, give Cederroos a run for money, although Cederroos has has all the advantages in terms of height and reach. Okay, and but I think that Franchon Cruz is a harder puncher than Alicia, the Empress Esposito. So I think her punches, if she lands on Helen Cederroos, is going to give her a lot more problems than the punches that Alicia was landing on Cederroos. Even though Alicia, Cederroos had pretty good defense in the fight, like I said, because she stood tall and fought tall and used a jab to keep Alicia at bay. Now, when at one point, Cederroos started letting the punches go, and man, when she let her punches go, she's very effective. She get a lot of leverage on the punches because she's tall and has a long reach. And if she did a little more practice in that area, she's gonna be a problem for Franchon Cruz, because I don't know what her confidence is looking like now that she won that fight against Alicia. Her confidence might be up now, and I would think that if she was able to let her punches go in this fight against Franchon Cruz and was able to land, it's going to be a problem for Franchon Cruz. But I think Franchon Cruz is going to, she's a tough fighter. She has, power. And I think her power and her skills might be a problem for Cederroos, okay? But we're going to have to see how it plays out. It should be an interesting fight to see who would win. And, I'm thinking that this is going to be a tough one. I don't know if it's going to go the distance. Somebody's probably going to get knocked out, I would think, based on the way these two women fight. I'm pretty sure that Franchon Cruz is going to come and she's going to bring the pressure, okay? And we're going to see what Ellen Cederroos is actually made of, okay? So this should be an interesting fight. I'm definitely looking forward to it. It's coming up, like I said, it's a co-main event on the Cambosos Teofimo card, okay? Undisputed between Ellen Cederroos and Franchon Crews-Dezurn. Should be a great fight. Definitely looking forward to see that one. So that's what it is, people. So at the end of the day, we're going to have another undisputed champion, a women's champion. Very few of them around. Only Shields, and we have Katie Taylor, and we had Breakers, Cecilia Breakers, and we also have Jessica McCaskill. So whoever wins this fight is going to join the elite level. It's going to be one of the elite, on the elite level of the, few women undisputed, or even men for that matter, undisputed fighters, in boxing. So, yeah, this should be a great fight. Everybody should tune in for this fight. I think it's going to be a great fight. This fight should probably be the headliner instead of Teofimo versus Cambosos, because you have two women who are undisputed. Who are unified, fighting for undisputed. That fight should be a headliner, but it's a co-main fight. Okay, so I guess it is a kind of a headliner. So definitely looking forward to seeing that fight. Now, Franchon Cruz is, like I said, is a warrior, and in a fight with Jimenez, she put up a tough fight against him, and like I said, it was a split decision, okay, and but she came up short on the decision, and so she's able to fight bigger women, and we saw that, okay, and Helen Cederroos was the bigger woman, tall, long reach, and longer reach than Jimenez, so that might present a little different problem for Franchon Cruz, but like I said, Franchon Cruz was able to handle Jimenez pretty good, and I'm pretty sure Cederroos won't present the same problem. As a matter of fact, I'm thinking that Jimenez is more aggressive than Ellen Cederroos. So styles make fights, so we're gonna see. It's gonna be interesting to see how this fight plays out. I'm definitely looking forward to it. It should be a great fight. Okay, and we're gonna have an undisputed at the end of this fight between these two women. So that's gonna be great, definitely. So anyway, that's all I have for right now. I'm thinking that, people out there, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Okay, hit the bell icon to get the latest. Go to tbeboxing.com to get the latest headlines, get the latest news and the latest commentary on boxing. Okay, and go to my YouTube channel and like, hate, or subscribe to the channel, and get also the latest commentary in boxing. So yeah, this is all I have for right now. This is TBE Boxing. Again, make sure you like, hate, or subscribe. That's all I have for right now. I'm out.